Welcome to WebStylePress. How do you create an HTML document? I have a standard HTML document open in front of me that contains HTML, head, meta tag, title tag, and body tag. If you use this document, it will work, but it is not a proper and valid HTML document. So today we will look into how can we create a proper HTML document. But first, use a good code editor. Sublime Text and Visual Studio Code are good code editors, and you can use any of these. And Visual Studio Code is available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. This is a good choice for web development code editing purpose. This is index.html and its output will be here. Usually developers start an HTML document like this, but there is no doctype declaration used for this HTML document and no character set defined, no meta tags for responsiveness, not any hierarchy defined for styles and scripts. Let's discuss how can we create a proper HTML document. You can add instructions for the browser and instructions for search engines to this document to make it more useful overall. Allow me to remove this generic HTML code and let me introduce my version of HTML document that is more detailed and has more tags and attributes. Now this HTML document has everything. It has got doc type, it has got character set, and it has got styles and script tags and everything that you need to know to create a proper HTML document. First thing you should use in an HTML document is the Doctype Declaration. This is mentioning the version of your HTML document. Current declaration in this document states that document is using latest available version of HTML document. This is not the HTML tag, it's just the declaration that the document type is HTML and version is latest version of HTML. It has no closing tag. Before HTML5, we had many types of doctype declarations, but onwards this declaration is sufficient. It's instruction to the web browser that what type of document to expect. After this, our first tag should be the actual HTML tag with language attribute. I have used English as language for this document in this attribute. After this, our head tag starts that usually contains title tag, meta tags, style tags, and website icon tag. You can also use scripts tags in head section, but scripts block page rendering, so it is advisable to use script tags at the end of document before closing body tag to improve web page loading time. Head tag contains instruction to web browser and search engines. After starting head tag, we can use character set tag. This is HTML documents character encoding instruction to web browser. I have used UTF-8 character set because it is widely supported by different web browsers. After character set encoding tag, we have two very important meta tags related to website responsiveness. If you won't use these two tags in your document, even if you use media queries, your web page will not be responsive. It won't respond for different devices accordingly. Meta X UA compatible is for Internet Explorer, and Meta Viewport tag is to adjust the document width according to available device width. So do not forget to use these two meta tags in your document. This is essential to make website responsive. After that, we have title tag. Whatever text you use inside title tag will be displayed at title bar of web browser. It will be displayed here. See, the title has changed. After title tag, I have used description meta tag and keywords meta tag. You can skip keywords meta tag because search engines do not give much importance to it now, but title tag and meta description tag are very important. Search engines show web page title and description in search results. So use descriptive title and description for your web page. Here, if I search CDN.js in Google, you can see it is fetching the title and description of web pages in search results. Use small sentence for title and relatively longer for meta description. By using these tags, you can describe what your web page is about. So make good use of these tags. These are very important for SEO purposes as well. Generally, 60 characters for title tag and 150 characters for meta description tag are good to use. In head section of page, after meta tags, we can link style sheets. I have linked Twitter Bootstrap before all other style sheets. Then I have linked Font Awesome. Twitter Bootstrap is a CSS library that gives you ready-to-use classes, styles, and responsive utilities. Font Awesome gives you icons to use in your web pages by using CSS. These are external CSS libraries. I have linked these by using CDN links. I do not have these libraries in my project. I have linked these by using their remote server links. So CDN is Content Delivery Network. It's a service, and this service hosts other libraries and other files, and so JavaScript and CSS based open source libraries and frameworks are available at their official website, but those are also available via their CDN links. CDN is Content Delivery Network, for example Cloudflare and CDN.js. These networks host these files for you so that you can use these libraries without downloading and saving these in your PC. It helps in saving time and can speed up development process in development and testing environments. CDN links are spread across different regions and multiple remote servers to accelerate file access. When you access a CDN link, the related file will be fetched from available server that is close to your location. CDN maximizes and accelerates files delivery time, but it's not advisable to use these free public CDN links all the time. It may prove helpful in development and testing environments, but for production environment and at live websites, it's good to use assets from your own web server. The reason for that is the CDN links can change over time and can become unavailable. So it is better to use these by keeping your project's environment in mind. If I will use CDN links, I won't have to download other associated files like fonts, scripts, and CSS files related to these links and libraries. But if I will use these libraries within my project, then I will have to download full library with its associated files and all its dependencies. We are in a testing environment right now, and I need to use these libraries quickly. So I have linked these via their CDN links. We will learn about CDN links in later videos in detail. I will show you here that how can you find CDN links for different libraries and frameworks easily and use in your projects. Almost every popular library or plugin out there has got its links and presence in CDN networks. For example, you can go to cdnjs.com website, find plugin or resource or library and get the CDN links from there and use these in your project. Simply go to cdnjs.com website and search Twitter Bootstrap there if you are going to use it. You will get the result. Click add Bootstrap link and you will get all of its versions there. Select your version of choice. You can select Bootstrap 3 or latest Bootstrap 4. I have selected Bootstrap 4 here. After that, look at its available files in the list. Here I need minified version of Bootstrap style sheet. Minified files have .min in their names. Copy its full link tag like this and paste it in your web page head section. This is complete style sheet tag with CSS file link and Bootstrap will be available in your project. Similarly, you can use minified version of Bootstrap script file from here, and then I will search FontAwesome at cdnjs.com and get its result. Click at its result and it will provide you all of its versions. I am using FontAwesome version 4 from here. I will copy link tag for FontAwesome's minified CSS file. Just like this. And I will paste it in my web page. I do not need to copy other dependencies like fonts files for these libraries because those will be fetched remotely by their path mentioned in this CSS files. I am using their minified version because minified version is smaller in size and I won't be changing these files. Rather, I will override these files or I will override code in these files in my own files. I will use my own custom files to override code in these libraries. After that, I have vendors.min.css file. This is empty file right now. It's just for explaining purpose here. You can use vendors file to unify all external libraries in a single file. It makes sense to combine many external libraries in a single file like vendors.css and then use minified version for vendors file. But this is helpful in the case when you have downloaded the libraries and combining these into a single file. Benefit will be a quick loading website optimized for speed. Instead of requesting many files one by one, your web browser will make one request to fetch vendors file from server and your website will load faster in web browser. Because you will be using some libraries again and again in almost every project, so it's a good idea to download these all and combine them in a single file and use that single file every time. So all the code from different libraries can go in a single file that is your vendors file. I will guide you later about how can you easily minify CSS files and JavaScript files in your project while working. And you won't be changing code in these libraries. So it's a good idea to create a vendors file containing all of these and use that single vendors file to link to all the styles you need for different libraries. It's not necessary, but this will increase your productivity, save your time, and make your website faster. So it's probably a good idea. In head section, after I have linked external CSS libraries, I have my own style sheet, that is custom.css. As the name suggests, this is the CSS file that I will use to write CSS code for my web page. This CSS file will override all above linked external files, CSS files. So this is my working CSS file, and its order is second last in style sheets that I have linked in this page. You can also use its name like app.css, but this name should be distinguishable and unique and should tell that it's your working CSS file for the project. And I have already mentioned that the external CSS files or libraries that I have linked above are vendors. Over the time, their versions can change and those links can be updated. That is why I won't edit those vendor files. I will just link them as is above, then my own custom.css file, and Bootstrap is first in order. The CSS libraries or plugins that I will use after Bootstrap in order can override styles used in Bootstrap. And in second last order, I will use my own custom.css that can override styles in above linked style sheets. And in the end, my last CSS file is responsive.css file. This last file is also my CSS file that will only have media queries and CSS breakpoints. This file will even override styles in custom.css file. We have to modify different styles for different devices, right? So that is why I am using responsive.css, and I am using it at the end of all other style sheets. If you use custom or responsive CSS files above external vendor CSS files, those won't be able to override vendor styles. So order is important. Please make a note. Files or assets order is important in web page. And when you are done with styling and responsiveness of your page, you can minify your custom.css and responsive.css files. Minified files don't have spaces, and these are compressed versions of actual files. These are also small in size and help in speed up your web page. So minify your files, remove or comment original files code from web page, and link those minified versions. And where will you keep your CSS files? The path suggests an asset folder in the root directory of this web page, and then styles folder inside assets folder, and inside styles folder I will have my all CSS files. This is root directory of my project because it's got my index HTML file. It will have assets folder that will contain styles folder and all CSS files, including minified versions of CSS files inside that. This path is relative to root directory of web page or my project. Proper assets and file management is also very important during web development. I will explain it in detail later on in coming videos. Let me explain one more time. Style sheets that we have in head section will contain external CSS files before our own style sheets. After that, second last file will be custom.css or app.css, and the last CSS file will be responsive.css file. Custom.css file will contain your CSS code that you will write, and it will override code in external CSS files linked above than this. And responsive.css file will just have media queries, and these will even override styles in custom.css file. And file paths, directories, naming, structure, assets management is also important. Use assets folder and use styles folder inside that to keep CSS files. Files order and hierarchy is important. You can link vendor CSS files in any order, but in case of Twitter Bootstrap, link Bootstrap at the top, because you will be overriding Bootstrap CSS file by using supporting Bootstrap plugins for sure. Second last CSS file will be custom.css, and last should be responsive.css. Responsive.css can override styles from any of CSS files linked above from it. After all these style sheets, there is this check. We are checking if web page is loaded in Internet Explorer 9, then apply these scripts to the web page to reset CSS styles. This CSS reset technique will help your web page maintain some styles for older web browser like IE9. Please note the word defer at the end of these scripts. Defer will load these scripts after the page content loading has been done. Scripts block page rendering, so we should use defer in script tags to make sure that scripts are not blocking page loading. So these two script tags make your website usable for older browsers as well. Last thing in the head section is favicon. This favicon can be image a smaller version of your website logo. It will display in web browser's title bar before title of your web page. Its width and height can be 16px or 32 pixels, and extension can be either PNG or ICO. Its path is similar to style sheets above. In assets folder, style sheets are in the styles folder and images in the images folder. I have images folder inside assets folder, and I'll keep my favicon there. After meta tags, page information, style sheets, and favicon, we can close the head section, and body section will be started. Head section contains instructions for web browser or search engines. Most of what we type in the head section won't be visible at the page except title of page, but body section will contain actual content of page that viewers will actually see. This contains images, links, text, and rich media elements such as audio, video, image galleries, PDF, and more. Before closing body tag, we have linked scripts at the end of document. We should link JavaScript files at the end of document. Scripts block page rendering. If you link scripts in head section of page or before body content, page content won't appear unless script files are done loading in a web browser. So it is generally a good idea to keep scripts at the end of document for faster page load experience. Scripts manipulate DOM and implement some changes in content that are defined in scripts. That's also why scripts should be last to load to access available content at the page. Order of script files is important too. If you are using jQuery in your web page, jQuery script should be the first in the order. I have used jQuery CDN link here also. Also, I used a sync attribute with jQuery script tag that may not work in all scenarios according to your requirement. So I do not advise to use a sync for jQuery script. Don't use a sync with jQuery script tag. Many other scripts or jQuery plugins such as sliders and bootstrap scripts depend on jQuery to function. jQuery being a dependency, we should make sure it's available before other scripts, and it should load before other scripts too. If you use Bootstrap in your project but don't use jQuery, then Bootstrap navigation, menus, sliders won't work. So make sure to use jQuery if it's a dependency and use it before any other script in the project. So these are our scripts that are at the end of body tag. First script jQuery, then we can link other scripts and plugins such as Bootstrap, All Carousel, Sliders, Gallery scripts, etc. In these scripts, we can use defer attribute to make sure these load after everything else in the page is done loading. After that, we have vendor's script file to combine external vendor scripts into single file, similar to what we did with style CSS files. If you want to combine JavaScript files, copy code from each vendor file, create a vendor.js file and paste in it. Then create vendors.min.js file, that is the minified version of it, and link that minified version script file in your project. Comment or delete the actual vendor files from the code, and the benefit will be in result of a faster loading page and quick response from server, because now web browser will have to request only one file from server. Again, it is not necessary, but it helps in optimizing web page loading speed. And now search engines prefer fast loading websites over websites that takes longer time to load. Another important thing to note here: do not place jQuery code in vendor's file. Do not combine jQuery with other scripts. Sometimes you have to use jQuery in a head section of page just because you want to place jQuery before every script in web page. Such scenarios are WordPress or Shopify, where apps and plugins inject their jQuery dependent scripts in head section of page. So you want to make sure to leave jQuery script alone so that you can use it at the end of web page or in the head section if need be. Finally, at the end, last script file should be your own script file. Custom.js or app.js, this file will contain our own JavaScript code. We can override JavaScript code from vendors' JS files in it, and or we can use initializers in it. You don't just link vendors' JS files and jQuery. You also have to initialize certain plugins and apps by using some extra code, or you have to define settings for different plugins. jQuery also has got functions and selectors. You have to use those functions and selectors by writing some extra code that you will do in custom.js file. And use defer in every script file except jQuery. Defer attribute will make sure that your script files load after your web page is done loading content and images. Defer will only work for this script that has got source attribute. It should be a script file called by using its source for defer to work at it. And we don't use defer for jQuery script, because we want to load jQuery before every other script. So this is script files order, orientation, or method to use for your web page. First jQuery, then other scripts. You can combine scripts in vendors script files. You should use defer with these scripts files except for jQuery, and use your custom.js file at the end of all scripts. After you're done, minify custom.js file also and use that minified version. So allow me to repeat it all once more. First of all, in HTML document will be Doctype Declaration, and this is very important. Then there will be HTML tag with language attribute. I have used English as language in it. And then there will be character set UTF-8. After that, 2 meta tags for responsiveness that are needed to make your website responsive. After that, there will be title tag and description meta tag. These are also important. And then after that will be our all style sheets. In style sheets, first of all, link your CSS libraries such as Bootstrap, and after that link all other style sheets or CSS files. You can combine these CSS files in a vendors file. In end of style sheets, we will link custom and responsive CSS files. Use second last file, custom.css file, that will override above CSS files, and last file will be responsive.css that will even override styles in custom .css file. After you are done with your CSS files, you can minify them. And after that, we have this in Internet Explorer 9 check. If page is loaded in IE 9, these CSS reset scripts will be used to make your styles compatible with Internet Explorer 9. After this, we have used fav icon image. Then head section closes and body tag starts. Type content of page that you want to show in web page in body section. Before body tag closes, there are scripts. In scripts, first script will be jQuery script. Do not use async or defer with jQuery script. After that, use Bootstrap script. And after that, use JS files of other libraries and plugins. In the end, we will have custom.js file that will contain our own JavaScript. Use defer attribute for script tags except for jQuery script so that they load after page is done loading. You can combine JavaScript files in single vendors.js file. Keep jQuery script separate. Our last JavaScript file will be our own custom.js file. After you are done with your page development, minify your CSS files and use minified links for those CSS files, and also similarly minify your scripts files and use minified versions for these. And if I delete the regular versions of CSS and JS files and keep minified versions, I will get this sort of code. This is the setup for a valid HTML page with assets, and you should take care of these standards while creating an HTML document. As now we use HTML5 version of HTML document, so use Html5 tags while creating HTML document, such as header tag, nav tag, section tag, article tag, and footer tag. Also use headings in documents such as H1, H2, and H3, and so on. H1 for only one time in page for most important heading in your page, H2 for less important, and H3 for even less important heading in page. Search engines read these headings for important keywords. HTML5 tags will help you define your page structure in a better way. This is HTML5 Header Tag that can have your header section. Use nav tag for your website navigation and links. You can also use nav tag inside header tag. Use unordered list inside it and then links in it. I have used all links inside a single li tag, but it is better to use each link tag inside a separate li tag. I am using a section tag here. Section is a HTML5 tag. Keep each individual block in your web page in a separate section tag. Divide different parts of your page in sections. For example, about text can go in a section, features block in a section tag, testimonials in a section. For header and footer, we have separate HTML tags, so no need to use section tags for these two. And I have used article tag here. All of this will define your page structure better, and search engines will prefer your well-structured content. Similarly, for your footer section, footer links, you can use HTML5 footer tag. And keep your links in unordered list or ordered list. Here I have again used several links in a single li tag, and allow me to mention it again. Use single link tag in a single li tag. That will be better. And this is the look and feel of the content that we have created, and it's not beautiful because we have not written styles for this, but the purpose here is to introduce you to HTML5 tags and HTML code structure, so you get the idea. HTML5 tags define and distinguish between different sections of your web page, as you can guess by the names like section, header, footer, nav, article, etc. This helps search engine to distinguish between and recognize different parts of your web page. So use HTML5 tags, don't skip essential tags of HTML document, manage web page assets in proper folder structure, and use proper naming conventions. Define page structure well. Make use of full power of modern HTML5 tags and all essential attributes available for HTML document, and your web page will be better than your competition. In coming videos, I will set up an HTML document including all essential libraries that I use repeatedly, and I will combine and minify assets as well. So stay tuned, hit like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.